Hello and welcome. Today we are taking a look at what my favorite holiday releases have been for 2025. So I've reviewed a ton of holiday items. There are still a few like miscellaneous pieces here and there that I haven't gotten to yet, such as the new Dior lip duos, with the sparkle, and the Bobbi Brown holiday eyeshadow palette. So, a few things I haven't gotten to yet, but I wanted to kind of cover what my favorites have been while we still have all these like Black Friday sales and everything going on. So anything that's been on my channel, so far in 2025 up through Thanksgiving or American Thanksgiving, by the way. So anything from there is kind of included or considered in this. So I wanted to keep the list kind of small. So I just chose my favorites for each category. So let's go ahead. We're going to start off actually with miscellaneous items. So the miscellaneous items basically ended up being mascara. So we've got the YSL Mascara in green, and this came out during the holiday releases, but it's not technically a holiday item, but I still wanted to include it because I think it goes so well with so many holiday items. You can see it's a little bit more of a teal green. It's like a teal emerald. It's really gorgeous, and this is supposed to end up being a permanent color, so we'll see if it sticks around here in the US. So I did want to include that. I love the formula. I love the color for this. Now, Chanel's holiday mascara, the Anthracite shade, this is in the Noir Allure formula, so we've got the push top. I love the actual color of this, and it has been one of my most used mascaras recently. You can see it's a really lovely kind of grayish purple. I don't love the Noir Allure formula, but the color is so great that I would definitely buy this again. I just wish that it came in the Le Volume de Chanel formula instead. So it's still, though, because of the color, it had to be a winner here. And then our miscellaneous category kind of lends itself into, some things that just have a few different options, such as the Hourglass Palettes. So face powder and highlight, blush, kind of all together in here. I really love these palettes, and this is the one that I've been using the most recently. So this is the Dior palette, and you can see it is very light. I love having these two more of a brighter pop of color blushes, yet this is the one where we've got like the finishing powder in Dreamlight that works for me. We've got some, beautiful like highlight shades and everything here. So this is the one that has worked out best for me for a daily basis. I definitely wanted to include that. But we have another item that also spans categories here. That is the Poudre Rocabar from Hermes. So this is the Rocabar Rose. We've got the beautiful horse here. And what exactly is this product? It's kind of like an all-in-one kind of thing. It is blush, highlighter, face powder. It all kind of depends on what your complexion is and how much you put on. For me, I like to use this as a blush lighter, and that's how I've been using it. It's been my go-to for a blush lighter kind of purpose on days when I'm not filming. This is the color that goes on my cheeks. So been really loving this, and I've been wearing it a ton. So I definitely wanted to include that. You can see you can get kind of this peachy hue with a little bit of a champagne glint to it. And that's what it looks like on my cheeks. I can kind of get this a little bit of a rusty peach. So it's really pretty. It does, it is going to be a warmer tone. It's not overly warm. It's leans warm though, and I just think it's great. And this powder is actually intended, for some complexions. You can use this all over your face, to get a little bit of a glow, a little bit of a glisten. You can use it more as a highlighter or a blush, so it just kind of depends how you apply it and how much product you use. It's a little dark for me to use all over my face, but if I was just a little bit deeper, I could use it with a light dusting all over my face, more like you would with like the Guerlain Meteorites. So it's definitely a versatile product. Now, as we head into highlighters, this is really the only highlighter this season, aside from those like in the Hourglass palettes, that I've been using regularly. And this is the Cle de Peau. Their packaging is just so shiny. I'm sorry. I know it's hard to kind of see the color of the actual product here, but this is 110. So this is the only one that we received here in the US. It's a really beautiful highlight. I have this on actually right now with Nars Blush. And this is our highlight here. You can see it's a beautiful shade. And it has a bit more of a satin finish to it. I personally love Cle de Peau highlighters, but they do have, you know, it's very finely milled shimmer. You're not getting glitter chunks, but it is shimmery. So if you don't like a shimmery highlighter, these aren't necessarily for you, but it's incredibly finely milled and silky in texture. I love them, and you can't beat the packaging here. So this definitely had to make it to my roundup. As for blushes, as I mentioned, the Nars Blush palette. I have the New Realm palette here. And so I have a mix of these two on my cheeks right now. I love how we've got 3 mattes and 3 shimmers. We've got several new shades here. I love being able to mix and match these, and I can put these on very softly or build them up, and it's very versatile. So this one has also made it to my list. In addition, we have the Tom Ford Alpine blush. So this is their creme blush formula, which I think is really excellent. You know, the Cle de Peau cream blushes have historically been my favorite. They are, you know, not really easy to find right now, and this has kind of replaced that for me. So you can see this is going to be a peach with some rose in it, so it does lean warm. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit cooler, but it ends up being a really beautiful kind of like a warm flush on my cheeks. So this is one that I've been using a ton. And I also have a couple more blushes actually, because I feel like the blushes were pretty good this time around. So I had to include the Chantecaille in Radiant Blush. So this one, again, it does lean warm. And it's shimmery. It's a shimmery, warm pink metallic, kind of like a little bit more of a salmon pink with a touch of rose. And I use this one all the time. It's another one that I love to use as a blush lighter. And I can just put a very soft finish of that on there. You can see it is going to be cooler in tone than the Rocabar Rose. So, you know, I just think it looks gorgeous. So it's a really beautiful shade. I love the formula for this. It is going to be shimmery, but again, it's super finely milled. So it ends up, you know, if you pile it on like this, more like metallic, but when you put it on with a fluffy brush, and I love something, you know, like these 3D face shape brushes. This one here is a Kyoto Yoshiki, but something like the CH1 from Fude Bobo and Chikuhodo. That's like my favorite style of brush to use with that blush in particular, because it gives just a light shimmery finish to the cheeks and really beautiful. We've got one more blush set, the Kosas Blush Trio. So I feel like this year's holiday trio, you know, we've got great small sizes here. Personally, I like the small sizes because they're easier to use up. And I really love the colors that came out in this set. So I already had one. So this here, I'm just featuring 2. That was Dare. And this one here is Spellbound. And, oh, didn't get very much there. There we go. And you can see that they are, you know, we've got some great colors here. I love the kind of this coral shade here. Again, you can see it's kind of in the same family as some of these other ones we've been talking about, similar to the Alpine from Tom Ford, kind of mixed with the Chantecaille and mixed with the Rocabar Rose. So they're kind of all in the same family this year, but I have to say they've been great. I think this trio is such a great set. You can either break it up or, you know, I just think they're really nice. I love the colors. I love the fact that we've got new shades included in the set too. So these 2 are new and limited edition to the set. And then the 3rd shade was a repeat. Now, this year the eyeshadows were actually my largest category. So I went to start off with the Chantecaille liquids. I've been using these constantly. So either on their own, or I'll often just use them as a base. Because I do use them as a base or just something to, you know, as a vehicle to kind of show off a colored eyeliner, I've been using this shade here, Tool, the most. So this is the one that I've been using the most. And it is a really beautiful champagne shade here. So I love that one. We also have Cremant here, which is a bit more of a dusty rose, but look at this. It's not too pink. You know, it's got some brown in there, so it's really kind of neutral, and it makes a really pretty shade here. And then we have Marron Glacé, which is a beautiful brown. So all three of these are ones I've been using a ton. They don't crease. They've got shimmer, but the shimmer, because it is a liquid vehicle, you're not looking at, you know, fallout and so forth throughout the day. So everything kind of stays put beautifully. You can see I do have a bruise here, so I apologize. I'm not actually sure how much it shows up, but I apologize when we get to swatching there. But those are definitely part of my eyeshadows that I absolutely love for this season. I also wanted to include the Byredo Ocean Haze palette, which I almost didn't pick up because I did not think I was going to love this color story. And surprisingly, I do. I think it is actually a really fun palette. We've got some great shades here. And yeah, it's more cohesive than I expected, and it's fun. Formulas are great. It's a really beautiful palette, and yeah, that one had to go on there. Also had to include the Dolce & Gabbana Chrome Star. This is one I've been using constantly. This shade here and the matte shade here, these are the two that I've been using the most. Just swatch those two. Absolutely love it. If you can get your hands on any of these Dolce & Gabbana palettes, the formulas on here are really, really nice. Totally worth it. Absolutely love them. Whether they're limited edition or permanent is hard to say. You know, it kind of depends what site you look at as to what information you get. So, yeah, I can't say whether those are sticking around or not. And I'm not even 100% sure that they're technically holiday, but they came out during holiday, and I think, you know, they've kind of been a little promoted that way a little bit more right now, but it could also be just because it's a new release. So absolutely love them. I also had to include the Givenchy 916 palette, and this is just a really great set of neutrals. And we've got some fun colors in here like the silver and so forth as well. It's similar to the 912 palette, so if you have that, definitely take a look at swatch comparisons. But if you've been in the market for a really great neutral palette, this is a nice option. And then, of course, two others. We've got Chanel and Cle de Peau. So this was definitely my favorite product from the Chanel holiday collection. It's the Nuit Astrale palette. This is what is on my eyes today. So you can see we've got kind of this dusty purple shimmer, a light blue shimmer that actually goes a little bit golden green. And then we have this grayish blue matte and a soft lavender shimmer. Absolutely love it. It is a beautiful, cold, icy purple palette. And then Cle de Peau also came out with purple. This is going to be palette number 504. And again, we've got some really beautiful shades. So this is going to be more of a lilac purple. We got a little bit more pink in there. Our brown here is going to be a little bit warmer. We have a pink. I mean, it's really hard to see, but that's the primer shade, so it doesn't show up too much. And then we have a deep neutral brown. So they're pretty different color stories. Both, you know, kind of circling around purple, but I think they're fantastic. So those were definitely my favorites from this year's holiday collections. All right, and then lipsticks. So what I have on right now is actually MAC. This is the MAC shade Pinklist, and we'll put the lips right here. So this is one I've been using a ton. It is a beautiful rose with some cooler undertones. In addition, the Hermes lipsticks. I'm really glad I purchased all three of these. Let me go ahead. I'm going to start off with the Rose Mauve shade. So this one here is the Satin. I wanted to put that next to Pinklist, so you can see that they actually are fairly similar. So the Rose Mauve is going to be slightly cooler in tone. It's a little bit lighter, and yeah, it's got a little bit more of that strawberry red hint to it. I think it's really pretty, but yeah, it's kind of got that strawberry red when you look at it one lighting, and then when it turns a little bit, you see a little bit more of that mauve shade. Then also from Hermes, we have the Rosé Pure, which has actually become one of my go-to shades because you can see it's light and soft. This is the sheer matte formula, and it is kind of like a neutral rose. And then the Rose Premiere, which is a vibrant fuchsia pink. This has been my showstopper shade this season. Absolutely love it. It's gorgeous, it's cool, it's bright, it's vivid, and it is a stunning shade. Now we do have a couple other lip products that I absolutely love, and that would be Byredo Sand Dance. When I'm going a little bit warmer, this has been my go-to. So it is a gorgeous shade here. It is going to be neutral leaning warm. So we've got kind of like a brown with a bit of peach and a bit of rose in it. And then the Archival shade from Merit. And this is also in their sheer formula, their sheer matte formula, which is only available in their sets. You can see is a really beautiful shade, similar to the Hermes Rose Pure. Let me put those side by side. So here's the Rose Pure. You can see it's going to be a little bit cooler in the Merit is a little bit cooler. We've got a little bit more of a mauvey hue to it, whereas the Rose Pure has just a little bit more warmth to it, but they are going to be similar. So again, we kind of got things in the same color family here that all end up being my favorites. But these are favorites not only for colors, but also for the textures and the way that they perform and hold up. So the quality is there on these items, and I absolutely love them. So these were my favorites from the holiday season so far, and I would love to know what has kind of ranked up there for you. So please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you can take advantage of some of the sales going on now. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.